Trying to show the background.
That's the beautiful rhythm that we've seen from Duffy all season. All smiles from a very proud Bermudian who wins the title, defends her title with maximum points, 5,200, her 6th win of the season.
$4.99 for a 12-ounce package. Red ripe strawberries, $4.99 for a 1-pound package. Save $1.01 on Breyer's ice cream, just $7.19 for a 48-ounce tub. Hot price on Kraft shredded cheese, $3.89 for an 8-ounce package. Save 66 cents on Kool-Aid drink mix, only $4.99 for a 20-ounce tub. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
You're watching Bermuda Broadcasting News. It's Tuesday, May 29th. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. The defense lawyer for a mother who was jailed for 3 months for importing cannabis says tonight his client could appeal the decision. The penalty was handed down to 41-year-old Natasha York, who had told the magistrate the cannabis was for medical reasons and part of a desperate act. But as Tarai Trott tells us, it raises questions for residents who suffer from medical ailments but who are unable to have the cannabis they need.
Magistrate Kamisi Tukumbo handed down a 3-month prison sentence this week for Natasha York, who admitted to smuggling $71,000 worth of cannabis to the island, she said, for her incurable seizures, for which she was not able to get adequate treatment from traditional medicine. The Royal Gazette reports the court heard she was caught with the drugs while flying back to the island last May. Customs officers found the cannabis inside of 2 packages of hemp butter and hemp oil. They weighed more than 1,400 grams.
And basically what intractable seizures means is that the seizures which she suffers from are uncontrolled and refractory.
Representing York is barrister Paul Wilson of Mastermind Bermuda Law Chambers. He told us after the sentencing, his client's daily life revolves around debilitating pain.
The conventional medications which are supplied to her have no effect. Ms. York suffers anywhere between 3 to 4 seizures per day.
Mr. Wilson says York did apply to government in 2016 for permission to have access to medical cannabinoid products containing THC, an application backed by physician Dr. Kaiwan Brown. However, the application was refused. She attempted a second application but ultimately decided to import the cannabis. Now there is concern for her children, who will be without a mother during her 3 months of imprisonment.
She has 2 young children, 2 very young daughters, and they have had to be her aftercare givers. And so when she's going through these seizures, very often it's in front of them, it's in their presence.
York's case raises questions about what is acceptable when one is desperate for medical treatment when they are unable to get it through legal means.
We're not talking about the kind of desperation which befalls many of us. We're talking about that kind of desperation which comes as a result of having your dignity taken away from you.
Mr. Wilson adds he will be discussing a possible appeal of the sentence with his client. Meanwhile, York's medical doctor, Kaiwan Brown, has backed her application for medical cannabis. Speaking to us via Facebook following the sentencing, Dr. Brown clarified that York had been given a permit for part of medical cannabis products that excluded THC, which she needed.
This patient came to me because they heard that I was interested in helping patients with chronic intractable medical diseases, of which medical marijuana can help. And so with that invitation, she came to see us, and we invited her to consider this particular option. And it's out of that desperation, this unfortunate sentence has been issued to this patient who has done all that she can to survive, This is a patient who has 4 to 5 seizures a day, who lost her job, who's a mother of 2, and the only thing that works, the only thing that gives her a period or a life of normalcy is that medical marijuana.
Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In other news, after 26 years of service, child advocate Sheila Cooper has stepped down as chair of the Coalition for the Protection of Children. The charity today announced at a press conference that lawyer Javon Williams will replace Mrs. Cooper at the helm.
Criminologist and social justice advocate Mrs. Cooper, the founder of the child advocacy charity, will remain on the board and continue her work with Habitat for Humanity.
I'm so excited to have Javon at the helm. He's a wonderful man. He has great passion. And Kelly is a terrific executive director. I couldn't leave this organization in better hands.
At the coalition's headquarters in Pembroke, newly appointed chair Javon Williams said Mrs. Cooper's efforts have been the heart of the organization.
Under her leadership, the CPC was instrumental in developing new protection of children legislation in year 2000 and successfully lobbying for the new daycare regulations. In addition, she helped to establish the Interagency Committee for Children and Families, the Child Abuse Hotline, and the Food Assistance Program, and Free Food Initiative.
Dwayne Keynes was named new deputy chair, treasurer Judith Knight, secretary Lindsay Forrest, with Susanna Frith, Dr. Ryan Bates, Mark Clark, Malika Robinson, Terry Griffiths, and Tony McWilliam rounding out the rest of the board. Mr. Williams was asked what drew him to the new post.
I have always had a strong sense of urgency in terms of serving my community. I've been involved with the coalition now for going on just over a year. And it seemed to be an organization that spoke to me and resonated with some of the tenets of why I believe it's important to stay involved. That is affecting the lives of children. A lot of the children that are actually, who would be constituents or clients of the coalition live in the community that I actually live and grew up in.
And what is the biggest challenge facing children in Bermuda today?
Having the lack of parenting in the home can lead to a variety of issues. That's probably the biggest issue that I see from where I sit. I also recognize that, whilst they have, their jobs and all the commitments that parents have, the reality is that a child should very well have a parent that is there on the ground, supporting them, loving them, providing them the resources that they need to grow into productive and healthy members of the society.
Executive Director Kelly Hunt thanked the community for its support of the charity since its inception in 1992.
We are grateful, again, to all of the community for their support throughout our existence and our development. We offer hardship support for families and life coaching, a breakfast program in 12 schools, so a healthy start to the day, every day of the school year, and a child abuse prevention program called Speak Up, Be Safe, thanks to HSBC. And last but not least, advocacy. So awareness in the community for the issues that our children are facing and our families are struggling with, and being a voice for child protection and child rights.
Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we'll have more for you after this short break, including all the latest weather news. Stay with us.
USDA bone-in strip steak, just $16.99 per pound, saving you $2. Select varieties of Arm & Hammer laundry detergent, only $5.99 for a 50-ounce bottle. Save 90 cents on Minute Maid Punch juices, $3.99 for a 59-ounce carton. Kingsford Matchlight Charcoal, only $9.99 for a 3.1-pound bag. All stores open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
You can count on us.
If you would have came to me a year ago and told me that you could reverse my diabetes, I'd have been skeptical. I have come off my medication. I'm fine. My eyesight is gradually coming back.
And if you can control this disease, you can reduce the likelihood of having blindness. You can reduce the likelihood of amputation. You can reduce the likelihood of having dialysis. Would this mean it's a perfect cure-all for everybody? No. This is one piece of a larger puzzle.
Physicians, they do care about you, but I think this one went the extra mile. I'm here to tell you that it works. Call Dr. James. Ask him for help. Don't be afraid. As Bermudians, we got too much pride, and we're killing ourselves with food.
Just come if you have diabetes and you would like to take control of it. This just might be the program for you.
Welcome back. A 5.4% decline in the overall volume of retail sales for the month of March, as 5 of the 7 retail sectors recorded declines in sales volume, with motor vehicle retailers in particular taking a beating. Here's Gary Moreno with a look at the numbers provided by the Department of Statistics.
The motor vehicle sector was hardest hit, with an almost 45% in sales volume, driving sales receipts down 44% when compared with 2017. Also taking it on the chin were building material stores. They experienced an almost 19% fall-off in sales receipts this past March, the downturn attributed to lower demand for construction goods following the America's Cup. Gas stations saw a 4% drop in sales volume. However, sales receipts were up 1.4%, thanks in part to an almost 6% rise in fuel prices. Apparel stores saw sales volume drop almost 4%, which led to a 3.2% decline in sales receipts over March last year. Food store sales figures were up 5.8%, while liquor sales grew 9.3%. According to the Statistics Department, the positive sales growth was due partly to the timing of the Easter holiday falling 2 weeks earlier when compared with 2017. Elsewhere, revenue for marine and boat suppliers dropped 56.4% due to fewer boat sales. Sales of furniture, appliances and electronics declined 3.3%, but in contrast, pharmacies saw an almost 6% spike, while miscellaneous goods sales climbed 23%. Residents declared $3.4 million in overseas purchases this March. That's 8.1% lower than in March 2017, thanks largely to less spending on clothing and footwear. Meanwhile, the Consumer Price Index indicates inflation dipped in February this year, down to 1.8% from 2% a year earlier. However, between February and March this year, consumers saw the cost of a basket of goods and services included in the CPI climb slightly by 0.2%. In real terms, the basket of goods and services, which cost $100 in 2015, now cost $104.30 in March this year.
Thanks, Gary. Well, today, May 29th, is the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers, a celebration of the million-plus people who serve or have served in war-torn countries to care for civilians, maintain ceasefires, and support democracy. The UN's Department of Peacekeeping Operations was founded 70 years ago, and Bermuda's own Jeff Barron served with them for 18 months back in 2007. He gave us his thoughts about the organization and those who serve.
It was an amazing organization to be a part of, and quite a steep learning curve. And you look at all the various missions where they've gone from peacemaking to keeping to administrative roles, helping the country stabilize and transition into a state of normality. It's quite amazing, 70 years. And I think oftentimes UN peacekeeping is taken for granted simply because they occupy and administer countries who've gone through significant harm and conflict, but they're there for quite a long time. And I think because of that, they can be taken for granted. So it's a nice reminder today to celebrate the Day of Peacekeeping and all of those men and women who have served and who continue to serve.
And Jeff will share more about his own time with the UN in a future newscast, including his role as a team leader in Kosovo during a massive demonstration only 1 week after his deployment. Turning to weather news, cloudy with more rain for our Wednesday. Here's our latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast here on ZBN is brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group. And we have maybe not the nicest forecast for you from a weather standpoint, but it kind of is good news for us. We need some rain. It's been an exceptionally dry May, and we do have some wet weather on the way, so we will celebrate the showers. Hopefully you don't have outdoor plans that you need to be enjoying with dry weather, because we will see some very wet weather, and we need every raindrop that we're going to get here. You can see the moisture is finally really filling in. The satellite loop shows thick clouds, lots of moisture rolling in from the west. By the way, off to the west there in northern Alabama, that is subtropical depression. You could even call it a subtropical rainstorm, Alberto, right now. And the overall weather pattern is promoting some extra rain in our area. You can see the flow from the southeast of our subtropical depression. And then there's been a front that has kind of been shunting some of the moisture. Upper level winds are carrying some of that moisture off the east coast. And in good news here for the rain gauge, we do have some heavy showers on the way. And some of that's beginning to occur already in some parts of the area. So 78 degrees is where we stand. Temperatures down about a degree or two from yesterday at this point. Humidity is up. Winds are from the west. Water temp is up as well, up to 80 degrees already. And on the inside, we have 1 to 2 foot waves. On the outside, 3 to 5 footers surrounding the island, especially on the west side. So we'll talk about that in a minute regarding some small craft issues. But tonight, breezy with periods of rain. We need this, so we will welcome it in. 73 degrees. And again, there is a small craft warning in effect through Wednesday night because of this system moving through low pressure and some extra showers and more wind, creating larger waves. So the boating weather's not the best. High tide coming up at 9:31 tonight. Another low tide late tonight. And then high tide number 2 rolls in at 9:51 Wednesday morning, followed by low tide in the middle of Wednesday afternoon. So we'll have clouds and sunshine with a brief shower or two. Most of the rain will probably come through late tonight into early in the morning. 80 degrees for your high. We need that rain, though. And here's Futurecast with the winds. There's our low pressure center. And then off the map to the west would be the true center of now tropical rainstorm Alberto. But we need this moisture, and it's going to be coming through the area, which is great news for us. The dip in the jet stream helping to promote the showers and periods of rain. So at least we'll have something to show for this one in the rain gauge. The Gateway forecast shows heat into Toronto, 82 degrees on Wednesday, New York 70, a little cooler into Boston, and still stormy into Atlanta and Miami for that matter. London has some scattered thunderstorms as well. And into the Caribbean, nice day in Barbados, a couple of showers into Trinidad and Jamaica. And again, we do have subtropical rainstorm Alberto in the east central U.S. at this point, moving up into the Ohio Valley. So periods of rain tonight into early Wednesday, and then it's back to dry weather. We stay pretty warm out there with consistently warm nights and pretty toasty days as well. Back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
The whole concept came from the collaboration with BF&M and the America's Cup. The Endeavour program is the legacy of the 35th America's Cup that was here in Bermuda in June. And we've continued the charity now operating in Bermuda. And going forward, we thought, what a great opportunity for children on the autism spectrum. And hence we actually developed the No Limits program. They really do benefit from this kind of outdoor experience, this environment. You know, just yesterday going off the east end of Bermuda, I mean, they wouldn't have done that. Not many children in Bermuda have done that. And just them learning to take control of a large bit of transportation that they're doing at that age, and they may never get that opportunity.
That's where you see the biggest progress is whether they were looking at their hand steering, you know, now they're looking forwards and actually looking where they're going because they've realized, oh, I know where my hand is. I can do this without looking at my hand.
We are so grateful for the Endeavour program and what it has done for the students on the autism spectrum.
This is Rick Blomquist of De Pere, Wisconsin. His life is pretty comfortable. He lives in a comfy home, wears comfortable shoes. He even has a comfortable job. Rick Blomquist thought he had comfort all figured out. But then he laid on a Certa and realized his life was only just sorta comfortable. The new Certa iComfort Hybrid Mattress. Not just sorta comfortable, Certa comfortable.
Feel the difference a good night's sleep can make. Exclusively available at Dreams, Bermuda's only mattress gallery.
Carl, you're not entering this race. You cannot do it. You're not strong enough. It's too dangerous.
Please, son, listen to your father.
I can do it. I'll show you, Dad. I'll show everyone. I can do this. I know I can! Who's there? Show yourself.
So you're looking to join the derby? Come with me if you want to win. You'll be faster. You'll be stronger. You'll be better than the rest of them. You'll be a winner. Can you feel it? The ducks are coming back.
Rubber Duck Derby, June 3rd, 2018. Adopt a duck to support Friends of Hospice.
With just over a week to go before the by-elections in Paget East Constituency 22 and Warwick Northeast Constituency 25, candidates have stepped up their canvassing efforts. The Progressive Labour Party's representative in 25 is Curtis Dickinson, who is up against the One Bermuda Alliance's Justin Matthias, both of whom last week shared with us their views on what the major concerns are for the voters in Paget East. Tonight is the turn of the candidates in number 22 to do the same. The PLP's Curtis Richardson and the OBA's Scott Pierman. Gary Moreno spoke with the two parliamentary hopefuls on nomination day, asking each of them the same questions he put to Mr. Dickinson and Mr. Matthias, giving each the opportunity to tell the voters why they should vote for them. First, we hear from Mr. Richardson.
I see that we stand a good chance. I stand a good chance because I'm not totally new, and the feedback I'm getting from the residents of Constituency 22 has been pretty positive. You know, we have a strategy as a party, we have a strategy as a government, and we have a platform to stand on. So it's good.
So, based on your canvassing and such, what have you been hearing from the voters up here in terms of their concerns?
Well, it's been enlightening because I haven't heard too many concerns during this by-election. More so praise for how well the government's doing. There is a slight concern with how the education system has been slated to be going. Positive concern, not so much. Oh, I want this to change, I want that to change. More so, I'm looking forward for the change. So that's been tops.
I want you to look in that camera and tell the people of this constituency why they should vote for you.
Constituency 22 residents, you can believe in me. I've come to your doorsteps, I've heard your concerns, I don't take them lightly, and it's good that you come out to the polls, have a representative, has a voice for you. It's very important that I reach all constituents within 22, and because, again, you can believe in me.
Like Mr. Richardson, his opponent, Mr. Pierman, is still relatively new to active politics, but also like Mr. Richardson, he too is optimistic about the outcome of the June 7th poll.
Well, Gary, I'm pleased to be a newcomer. I think it's important that the party's in the transition time. This is an opportunity for the OBA to rebuild, to reform, and we have some new, young, fresh faces, and I'm happy to be one of those.
What do you think your chances are?
I think the chances hopefully will be good, but I'm not taking anything for granted in this seat. I'm trying to hit as many people as I can, see as many voters, talk to them and hear their concerns.
What have you been hearing from them in terms of their concerns for this constituency?
Well, like any constituency, there are local concerns. I've heard a lot about the trash. People feel that once a week's not enough, particularly in the summer months. There are also concerns locally with some derelict tourism properties, some former tourism properties, White Sands Road, Harmony Club. Those are issues of concern to the community and to the people who live there.
Take a look in that camera and tell the people of this constituency why they should vote for Scott Pierman.
Bermudians, please come out on Thursday the 7th of June. It is my goal to try to create opportunity for all Bermudians, and I would be grateful for your support. Thank you.
Represented by Dr. Grant Gibbons, the OBA won the Paget East seat in the 2017 general election. However, Mr. Richardson, who represented the PLP then, garnered the most votes that party ever has in that constituency. The June 7th by-election made necessary by Dr. Gibbons' resignation as a member of Parliament. Well, still to come, Roll Basin will have all the latest sports news in just a few minutes.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Blurry-eyed following your eye appointment? Had one too many? Or simply too tired to face the drive home at the end of a long night? There are lots of reasons why you couldn't and shouldn't get behind the wheel. Introducing HomeSafe from Security Associates, the island's only car and driver home delivery service. Reschedule with us and a HomeSafe driver will deliver you and your car right to your door. Whatever your reason for not driving, you can always get HomeSafe. Call 298-2626 for pricing and to find out how you can become a member or visit homesafebermuda.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Surface Trends has been serving Bermuda for over 25 years, supplying and installing tile and natural stone. We have a large in-stock selection of beautiful porcelain wood planking, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile. You will also find Bermuda's best in-stock selection of countertops, including natural granites, exotic quartzites, and silestone engineered quartz in all the newest colors. Our team will be happy to help you. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road or give us a call at 295-8005.
Turning to sports now, Bermuda has a mixed day during the opening round of the Davis Cup tennis tournament in Costa Rica. Earl Baisden has the details and much more in tonight's sports package.
Bermuda's Davis Cup team of Gavin Manders, David Thomas, Jensen Bascom, and Trey Mallory took to the courts in Costa Rica to take on Antigua and Barbuda. They had a mixed day with Trey Mallory winning his first ever match at the Davis Cup. Bermuda in their opening match took on Antigua and Barbuda and went down 2-1. Playing in his first ever Davis Cup match, Mallory would come off the court recording a straight sets win over Kevin Gardner. Mallory would win 7-6, 6-2. Antigua and Barbuda would level the match at 1-1 when Thomas went down in straight sets 6-1, 6-3. The match will be decided in the doubles with Manders and Bascom going on the court. Manders and Bascom would win the first set 7-6, but the Antigua and Barbuda team would come back and win the second set 6-4 before closing out the match 6-3. Thomas summed up the day this way.
It was a pretty tough day. Going in, I'm really proud of Trey to step into that spot and not only give a good account of himself, but to pull out a victory with it. Going into one singles is always pretty tough. These guys aren't slouches down there, and this guy, I believe, is ranked 1100, 1200 in the world. So going into that match, trying not to think about that, but I mean, it's obviously a really good tennis player. Try to put ourselves in a position to win in the singles. Wasn't able to do that on my side.
Bermuda women's national team arrived back at the LF Wade International Airport last night. Captain Marley Christian said the team was really happy with the outcome.
We put a little stress on ourselves yesterday. We made it a little bit more complicated than it had to be, but overall in the end we got the job done. We got our 7 points. We're on to the next round. I'm really proud of these girls. I'm really proud of everything that they put into this tournament. We had a short amount of time and the effort was there despite us tying Guyana on Wednesday and then having a good win on Friday, and knowing we were all hurt after we only won 1-0 on Sunday, but we all knew that we still had a chance, and even though it wasn't in our hands, we were all remained super positive, and I appreciated that so much. Sitting by the pool and waiting for those 94 minutes to go by was probably one of the longest things I've ever had to do in my whole entire life, but I'm happy we had that experience, and but hopefully we won't have to do it again, and we'll make it a lot simpler for us in the next round and just get the points we need to do to move on.
Bermuda joins Cuba as the Group A winners, Jamaica Group B winners, Trinidad and Tobago Group C winners, Antigua and Barbuda Group D winners, as the qualifiers for the final Caribbean qualifiers are slated for August 25th through to September 2nd at a venue to be named. Madeline Moore competed in the Plymouth Leander National Qualifier Swim Meet. Moore took to the pool to compete in the women's 50-meter freestyle. During the preliminaries, Moore touched the water in a time of 26:58 to advance to the final. In the final, Moore captured the gold medal with a 50-meter freestyle time of 26:20. Kamal Levrock and his Nottinghamshire second teammates took on Durham second in their second 11 championship match at the Notts County Sports Club. Batting first, Durham would score 422. Levrock would finish with figures of 10.5 overs, none for 52. In reply, Nottinghamshire would close the day on 82 for 2. The Bermuda women's senior volleyball team began competing in the U.S. Volleyball Open National Championships in Dallas. The Bermuda women's team, playing in Pool 3, were 1-2 on the day in the division. Bermuda would open up with a hard-fought 16-25, 25-24, 16-14 win over the Ceci Ladies. The Bermuda team would fall 25-13, 25-11 to the Molly's Fireballs, and then they would fall 25-12, 25-15 to the Lady Chickens. The Bermuda inline hockey season continued at the PCC hockey rink with 19 goals scored in a doubleheader. The St. David's Islanders would defeat the Southampton Sailors 7-5 in the opener. The St. David's Islanders would get 4 goals off the stick of Christopher Jackson, while Scott Shannon would score twice and Jeremy Esty would head the other. Chris Grantier would score a hat-trick for the Southampton Sailors, with Tony Jackson scoring twice. In the nightcap, the Tuckerstown Tropics defeated the Warwick Waves 4-3. Bermuda Basketball Association senior men's national team coaching staff have selected a team to represent Bermuda in the FIBA America Cup 2021 Caribbean pre-qualifiers set to take place in Suriname June 24th through to the 30th. The Bermuda team consists of Steve Lynn Brown Darrow, Adam Correa, Chris Crumpler, Bryce Gonzalez, Jaron Haley, Cameron James, Vernon Lamb III, John Lee, Jason Lowe, Youssef Riley, Seawood Smith, and Kevin Stevens. The Bermuda Commercial Softball League season resumed at the Michael Pre Softball Diamond with a triple header last evening that produced 70 runs. In the opener, the PWC went down 16-3 to Butterfield and Valley Sliders, while the Hard Knocks then defeated the Angels 8-5. The night was closed out with the Outback Skylights falling 26-12 to the PHC Zebras. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
And finally this evening, we'd like to say good riddance to Roseanne. The TV show, which we have aired on ZFE through our affiliate status with ABC, was axed today after its star made a racist tweet. Roseanne Barr's tweet likened one of Barack Obama's former aides to an ape. Bermuda Broadcasting CEO Patrick Singleton today reached out to ABC to back their swift decision to terminate the Roseanne show, and ABC thanked us for our support. A BBC correspondent today described Barr as, quote, the Donald Trump of sitcom, blunt, provocative, and at times deeply offensive, end quote. Well, that's our newscast. I'm Diane Brewer. Good night.